I think a lot of people, when I say I'm in tech support, they think of that, have you tried turning it on and off again, sort of stereotype, very IT crowd. But honestly, that couldn't be further than from the reality that I actually. So where do I begin? Really? As you can probably tell from my accent, I'm not from the UK. I'm from the States. And my job has taken me all over the world. And now I live in Reading, England. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, though, if you know where that is. If you know, you know. Um, but so I've had the opportunity to travel all over the world, even when I was still in the States, getting to travel to different states, going to different conferences and events. I've talked about technical and non-technical things alike. So this is me at Waves. I know I met a lot of you at Waves, so thank you. And that's probably why I'm here today talking to you. I've gotten to meet Mainframer Barbie. That was a highlight of my career as well. I've also gotten to go to New York to ride in Corvettes with Greg Lotko, our general manager of Broadcom. So that was pretty awesome as well. In addition, I've gotten lots of recognition, which is incredible, and why I highly recommend this space is because there is recognition and ways to get that, which can help you feel like, oh yes, I am motivated to carry on. So in 2023, I was a Tech Channel Rising Star. In 2024 and 2025, I was nominated as an IBM champion. And also, I haven't let that stop me from doing professional certifications. And in 2023, 2024, I got my CISSP, which is a cybersecurity related professional certification. So I should say I'm technical support for Broadcom, but really my main focus is on their cybersecurity portfolio. I work with ACF2, Top Secret, AAM, TAMZ. So basically the entire portfolio experience. Yes.
And I just wanted to ask, what does Tech Channel Rising Star mean? It sounds very cool.
Yeah, so so you get nominated for that, and it's basically to give a spotlight to people who are just starting out. So I mean, any of you guys could end up being a Tech Channel Rising Star, really. I had done quite a bit of work with digital certificates. That's my main thing. So I had done so much external work and visibility that I was nominated to be a Tech Channel Rising Star. So
thank you.
Yeah, cool. Oh, thanks. But we're not done here. So how did I get here? That's a lot. And I don't put that slide up there to brag or anything, but really just to show you that there's this whole like realm of possibilities of things that you can do that really you're not pigeonholed. Oh, I'm in tech support, so I just handle calls all day. But so talking about expectations, right? So the expectation versus the reality. I had some very I'd say basic expectations for what I thought my life would look like after school. It really boiled down to 3 simple steps. I need to graduate, I need to find a job, and step 3 is to profit. So really, I wasn't asking for a lot, right? However, this is what my life actually turned out looking like after I graduated university. So I had many different jobs. Some of them you recognize, some of them are just crazy, like a candle barista. Like, what the heck is that? But I did it. I can say it's on my resume. And so I was really, it was really tough. If you go to the next slide. So after I had hit a wall, I graduated and everything. I had all these different jobs. And really what I kept going back to was this silly career aptitude test. Did you guys have to take these in here?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're kind of interesting, aren't they? My career aptitude test when I was in university said I should be a musician, a developer, or an interpreter. And if you remember my 3-step process here, step 3 was to profit. So musician was out. I did not want to be a starving artist. So I tried step 2, which was developer. I tried it and I absolutely hated it. I hated my C++ course with a fiery passion. And it was mainly because the people there, it was a class that was meant as kind of a, oh, I have to take this class so that way I get my engineering degree. And so there really wasn't much excitement or motivation or anything like that. And I remember it feeling so draining and being like, well, if this is what IT is like, count me out. I have no interest whatsoever in soul sucking work. So, so that was it. I ended up graduating with my degree in French. I've taken French, German, Chinese. I'm studying Portuguese now, so I really enjoy languages. But as you can imagine, in St. Louis, Missouri, in the very heart of the United States, there's really not much need for an interpreter. Hence the plethora of jobs I had gone through. So after probably about 5 years, I was like, okay, 5 years out of university, I was like, I need to do something. I need to figure this out. Like, so I thought back to that university career aptitude test and I go, all right, what if it didn't suck? What if I could do it again? Because it wasn't that I was bad at it. I passed the class. It wasn't anything to do with my aptitude towards it. It was really just, okay, maybe it was the wrong environment. So I tried again. I applied to a nonprofit in St. Louis called Launch Code. And basically it's what it says, learn to code, get a job. And so I applied to them. I got into their LC 101 class. It was web development. And that was basically it. So the whole point of Launch Code was to go through the course. It's like a boot camp. And then you do a project and then they try to get you a career based on your project. So that way you're ready to interview. Go to the next slide. So I actually didn't make it to the project part because I had already landed my first IT job, just like that. I was working at a car dealership, being an annoying person that calls people and like, hey, can you please come in and look at this car? I saw you clicked on it online and put your information in. Really, really mind-numbing work. But there was an opportunity for an IT assistant position at this car dealership or conglomerate of dealerships. And so I applied for it. And I only found out after I was hired that really it was the personality assessment that they make you do. It was what really got me the job, because I know that sounds very bizarre, but the guy who ended up being my mentor, my boss, he said he didn't even want to interview me. Said no, she's just sitting there, she's just doing sales, mind-numbing sales work. Like, leave her be. There's no way she could work in IT. And the HR department said, look, here's her profile. Here's the like they made you do, like, you know, when you fill out job applications and it's like, oh, here's this math portion, and you're like, when am I ever going to need to use algebra in my car sales job? But it saved me. She was like, look at these math scores. This girl's got it. So I was like, okay, cool. So I got the job. Personality assessment. Sometimes it's a drag, but sometimes it helps differentiate you. And what you learn in courses isn't going to be exactly what you're doing in real life, is what I discovered. Because while LC 101 through Launch Code was about web development, I was now all of a sudden part of a two-man IT team doing all the IT for 6 different dealerships. And that included everything from network administration, configuring firewalls, to setting up printers for people, to just plugging in monitors. So it was really the gambit, and it was a really great learning opportunity for me. And being a part of a small team like that, I only had one other guy working with me. He was my boss and he was my mentor, and he was excellent. And he showed me everything I needed to. So how did I get into cybersecurity then? My boss was actually really, really awesome, because he had recognized, he's like, Katie, you're awesome. Like, I know you can't stay here forever. Oh. You talk close to the. Okay. Yeah, I don't. This is Yeah, no problem. That was my first, I was like, oh, watch, I can't even work I call myself a technical support engineer and I can't even plug in the computer. But, anyway, getting into cybersecurity, my boss said, hey, I know you can't stay here for forever. If you were to get into something, cybersecurity is hot right now. I think you have what it takes. And for me, that it was like permission to grow. And I think that was really an amazing thing that my boss did. The way I got into cybersecurity though was because I was working 2 jobs at the time. Not only was I an IT assistant, but on the weekends I was that candle barista. And the people that owned the candle shop had a daughter who worked for a place that was hiring cybersecurity analysts. So it's really never underestimate the power of networking, because if I didn't have that job, it wouldn't have led me to the next job. So that's how I got into cybersecurity. And again, I didn't really know anything. They were just looking for people to train up. I didn't have to be like, oh, I know I am an expert. It wasn't that kind of position. They were like, we're willing to train you as long as you have the aptitude and willingness to do it. We'll hire you. So I got the job, became Security Plus certified. So I got another, one of my first certifications. And I should say this was a travel and rewards company that I was working for. So what happened in 2020? Lockdown, yeah, pandemic hits. And as you can imagine, working in travel and rewards, I was furloughed. So that's when the Mainframe found me. So I had an email come to my inbox. I was like, oh, you get those recruiters reaching out. You're like, this looks kind of scammy. They didn't even say like what the job really was for. Other than, oh, they have a Fortune 500 company that's looking to train people for a technology that we don't offer courses for. So it was interesting. I obviously was in a position to be open to anything. Because if I wasn't, I probably would have just been like, like mainframes, like you Google it, you're like, what is this? Do people still use this? But it was really the perfect timing too, because I mean, all these articles were coming out about how they needed COBOL developers, and I was just like, okay, well, there's a need, so why not apply and see what happens? I know nothing about mainframes, so let's go for it. So I got to the interview portion. They didn't expect any mainframe knowledge, and a bachelor's degree in any subject was required. So I was like, perfect, French degree, here you go. Thank you very much. It happens, guys. So first round required a technical interview. So that's not to say I didn't have any technical background, right? I needed basic Linux, Unix command knowledge, and you guys have been probably kind of working on mainframes a little bit through your Z Explorer. And so you'll know it's kind of like you're not quite needing those commands, but I guess it's just to make sure that you're comfortable working without a user interface and comfortable using commands to get to where you need to be. So I passed that, aced it, excellent, made it to the second round, and that included 2 interviews with the education team at Broadcom. So hit the next one. I'm going to give you some interview tips. They're really not anything revolutionary. Really, it was take time to study the technical skills that are being requested, which honestly, for my second round of interviews, I didn't even need that. They were really focused on aptitude, flexibility, and willingness to learn, not being stuck into one technology. I will say if you are like hardcore, oh, I must be Red Hat Linux and I cannot be anything else, then mainframe's probably not for you. But if you're a little bit more flexible with oh, okay, this is just another technology. It's just another thing I need to learn, but that's okay. That's really what gets you far. So take time to study the technical skills that are being requested, even if it's not relevant to what you're going to be doing. Be your professional self. Nobody wanted to see Katie at like Saturday morning, 8 a.m. drinking a coffee, just hanging out watching true crime. They wanted professional Katie. So always be yourself, but you always have to kind of remember if yourself is a little less than professional, put the professional mask on. Grab a friend or use AI to practice. You guys have AI now, which is great. 5 years ago, I was watching YouTube videos to practice for that Linux portion. So, but now you guys have ChatGPT and all sorts of fun stuff. So you can ask it questions, or you can grab a friend. You can do things the old school way. You never know what aspect of your resume that the interview will gravitate towards. So that's what I found interesting about the Broadcom interview, was that they didn't focus on any of my IT experience. None. I was like, oh, okay. What they really were focused on, and if you looked at, you remembered, you burned it into your memory, that long list of jobs I had, they were really focused on my substitute teaching experience in French, where I worked for 6 months filling in for a teacher that went on maternity leave. So, so of all the things that, you know, an interviewer can focus on, I think really what they were looking for there was that the fact that I was ready to jump in. I could teach something that was really complex in a way that was interesting, and that I had the communication skills to be able to get through. I think that's what they were focused on. But so you never know. Be ready to talk about anything on your resume. And lastly, give positive vibes. It's okay. It's fine. Give positive vibes. What training looked like? So training through Broadcom's Vitality program. I got into the program. What does that look like now? It was grueling. I tried to find a picture of like drinking from a fire hose for this slide, and it was very violent. And honestly, I don't want to scare you guys. So I thought a dog drinking from a hose was better. So it was 6 months of training in total. We did pre-training. So they said, okay, well, before we even put you through training, you might, it's just a suggestion, I didn't have to. You might want to go ahead and do maths from the mainframe. It's now IBM's that Explorer for you guys. After that, we did basic skills training. And so you start learning the alphabet soup of mainframe, TSO, ISPF, SDSF, JCL, yeah, COBOL. And you know, you guys, it probably doesn't mean too much to you right now, all those letters, but eventually you become knowledgeable about what the letters mean. So went through basic skills training, then went through ASE training, which is their associate software engineer training, which is basically they put us with the people that were learning to be or going to be developers for Broadcom. So and that we went through JCL. That's how important JCL is. Rex and Assembler. After that, we went through product specific training, and for this, they kind of let you rank your choices here. There were lots of options such as Top Secret, Endeavor, IDMS, but for me, maybe I'm a little masochistic. I said, what security product's the hardest to learn? And I looked it up. Sure enough, it said ACF2, and I was like, that's my product. I'm going for it. And of course, you're getting graded throughout this whole thing, so they're not just going to stick anybody in like one of the more difficult products to learn. They were like, yeah, we think you can do it. So there you go. So I went through ACF2 training, and yeah, so that was 6 months. And so after that, you're supposed to go get sent off to a customer and work for a customer. However, after my training, I was placed in the technical support area, and they paired me with a mentor, and they started teaching me, okay, well, this is what technical support is like for supporting software products. And they noticed, hey, this girl's doing the work, like, and they went up to bat for me. They said, hey, we know that this isn't right. We know that we shouldn't be selfish, but can we please let her work for us? Can we please hire her? And it's that man to the right of me and then the other man to the far left. This is a picture of my wedding in Portugal, by the way. It just goes to show you how far these men went for me. And so I didn't give up. I had exceptional mentorship. They went up to bat for me. I even had to have an exception request in order to work for Broadcom because, again, my background, it's okay. No, you're fine. Background, don't have an IT degree. So they had to basically say, hey, she's doing the work. It doesn't matter what degree she has, she can do this. So, and yeah, that's why I work for Broadcom today. It's pretty crazy. So what does your journey look like? Obviously, you don't have to go into tech support. You can do basically anything you can do on the distributed side, you can do on the mainframe side. So there's all sorts of roles, technical, non-technical. You don't have to be a developer either. I don't know if me talking about my C++ soldering course really spoke to anybody. But really, I know most of university is focused on getting you to do development, but there's a whole wide world out there in IT besides development. So if you hate development, but you like IT, then there's all sorts of other things for you to get into. Next slide. And lastly, what can you do going forward? So if my journey hopefully inspires you and you want to continue on this mainframe adventure, then join the Mainframe Student Society if you haven't already. I'm assuming a lot of you here have already joined, but join and come to the weekly meetings. And then also find ways to attend and participate in events such as Waves and GSE UK. You guys have a phenomenal mainframe community here in the UK. Like, it was one of the things that really attracted me to live here, was because you do have, I mean, amazing people. I mean, heck, I met you guys at Waves and here I am speaking at Wolverhampton. So, I mean, so if that doesn't show you that, hey, these people are awesome, I don't know what will. Next, you can build skills and get badges using IBM Set Explorer and Interskill. Interskill doesn't have quite as much for free stuff for you guys, but hopefully they're building that repertoire for you. Listen to the Mainframe Community Podcast. There's some really great people that put that on, and it gives you kind of insight into other people's stories. And I think some of you guys have actually been on the Mainframe Community Podcast, so support your fellow students. And then consider what you want to specialize in. So I specialize in cybersecurity. I said that's what I want to do. And don't be afraid to work towards things that may not be mainframe related, because like my CISSP is not mainframe related, but it is showing that you have the aptitude for working in the space that you do and that you have an actual genuine interest in it. So, and I think that's it. That's all I've got. If you want to connect with me, I've got my LinkedIn up there. If you want to read my story again, it's on the medium.com Mainframe Vitality page. And if you have any questions, here's a free. Yeah.
When did you move to the UK? Before Mainframe or after Mainframe?
After Mainframe. So Mainframe directly is related to my international move. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Any other questions? Those are take a 10 minutes break. We have snacks. So
We've got drinks and snacks. You're allowed to just help yourself.
yeah.
Just don't use the cheese ones because Adam's allergic to cheese.
No, I don't. Should I eat the cheese ones?
If they touch him, then he's allergic to that.
Nobody touch Adam. Yeah.
What is the worst thing that's gonna happen?
I die. Quickly.
That's not the worst thing I'm gonna happen though.
Yes.
Well, the worst thing that can happen is before I die, I kick the fuck out of whoever it is that kicked me.
That's still not good. When it's like a heavy, so 10 minutes, grab water. You're gonna put the cheese on this.
So you download it and it's gonna like tell you what vitamins.
I don't know which one I want.
Yeah, vitamins.
Okay.
Just anyone.
Alright.
I think the moment you get a successful is really to actually connect you directly to this provider. This is the best.
Take this time to like talk to each other
Yeah, make friends.
and make friends.
Existing friends. I think it's different. I'm gonna do all the things all together. I'm gonna drink more.
Oh, okay.
So that's just really very much fine.
Oh, okay. So you want me to add you? Is that-
Whose laptop is this? Oh, I'm paying. I was wondering if the other slide.
I actually.
Small complaints.
But it wasn't.
Oh, it's nicer.
So you guys don't want drinks or snacks? Like, drinks, snacks.
Oh, see, yeah, we got some. What was this? Yeah, shopping crush. Now, what do you want to talk about this? Because I was saying crush or
Like I said,
because they already goes to school.
There is good.
It was saying, so what are you gonna like, explain the crush? It did not use crush or the
She
tropical.
didn't make the drinks, though. She's more confused than me. She didn't make the drinks.
No.
You're in this question. I'm feeling nothing knows. Should taste them and know. We also should have the patience. Pick up even so. Yeah, also talk.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop that you. Oh my goodness.
I don't eat anything else on each. Why, I gotta do it. I gotta do it small way. I know what I do. I know what. Local. What's gonna be called? Yeah.
Oh, that's what I've done since. I didn't look for the CIS is going to be 5 years of industry experience, so I was working after I started flesh.
We know that out there, so she.
But the security plus will be yeah.
No, it's not as good.
I did I didn't say it, but I didn't have one.
I just have this one and then there's flashing.
They say Network Plus and Security Plus, but Network Plus was actually somewhat technical, where the cybersecurity portion of it is more of a what's the best. They could all be valid.
No, I'm not gonna try. Why you doing this?
That comes together.
I'm like, how do you laugh?
That's all. What's on again?
I'm sure you feel really, very professional.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at you guys are gonna respond.
Like, you're gonna feel.
No, you should. One last person.
You know, actually, leaving, we're gonna come into the yeah, and it's gonna be this organized class with everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna work out. Back up. I've been trying to fix it.
Yeah. No envy whatsoever. I don't envy our developers.
Tropical characters, no?
Yeah.
Is it, are you sure?
Oh, I thought you don't want. You want.
Don't mind that. It's took.
It's like it has 5 days, someone really good. I love that. So, you know, it's like, it's really quick.
But yeah.
It's like I want to use with my own hand, so I don't know how it will come. Maybe I should speak from here.
Just being annoying.
So okay. Raji, so tiny. Can you please a tiny by the way?
It's very cute.
Is he good? Is he innocent?
I was gonna say to test the audio now. No, not that one. No, not that one. Laptop.
The one on the
Asking you
laptop.
to test
Can
it.
you test the
Okay.
audio?
Meeting said.
Thank you so much for the topics. And I thought I should speak more on the journey and the technical part. She need to go for the technical part.
Wait, let me connect it first.
Let's keep going. When we met at when Jenny was like very diverse, she didn't start from text. Now she's going to study from software. So once again, to know that everybody was well, nobody better than somebody who knows stuff in this years and study anything. Yeah, so that's why we go out today.
Beautiful. And it's
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, you still have like 2 minutes to prepare.
You can.
Yeah, you sure. We're just gonna
I
fit.
think I should stand.
Yeah, it's all right. Everybody can see you.
Let me check it. I don't know.
So-
Raji, it's a long then.
2 minutes.
Start in 2 minutes. ये तो 40 होता
Also, that I might, yeah, we can see you.
it doesn't work.
It does. Hello. Yeah, it works.
I can speak it.
Oh, yeah, I believe in you.
Yesterday, I got there a slide yesterday.
Yeah,
Now
I figured that out.
Thank you so much.
It was very happy.
I'm like,
I just got.
Yeah, it goes fine. I said that was the great thing is like, oh, I was with you. I don't probably have access to it. That's what it's like. There's loads of patterns that always get some right today. But apparently it is spelled. These are the added to the successful.
It can also be.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, break time is over. She's gonna start now. So, yeah.
if he give permission, then can I start?
Yeah, 30 minutes, yeah. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much. First of all, I would like to thank the mass, community, the society who has been organizing progress. I'm so inspired by your presentation, by the way. Not having the computer science background, but you have come to the, the broadcom. It's amazing and inspiration for us. So hi, my name is Meena Chand, and I'm a recent graduated. Like I graduated Jan 25. It was my graduation, so it's like not a long way. And today I'm going to talk about the mainframe in actions, the technology behind the everyday student experiences. So, okay. University. So if you see the logo there, this has been, I have been engaged with. So let me check with it. So currently I'm working as a technical solution architect in Assist Omnicron. It's the IUG IBM. And as well as I'm in the mainframes advocating, talking, giving seminars, learnings. So I still remember one time, I was introduced to the IBM last year, 2024 November. And there we won the CTF competitions. And after that, I was so much into the mainframe because I didn't heard about the mainframe in my community and in my society, my country. But after getting linked with the, the mainframe community and the GSE UK conference, I got a new, the perspective, what is the mainframe? And I was so inspired by the mainframe community. Then I started doing my, somehow completing the IBM Jet Explore badges, something like that. You won't believe I did all my all-star badge within the 3 weeks because I knew because I will be very busy and I was doing so many things at the same time. And if you see the IUG, yes, I'm linked with the IUG IBM Open Mainframe, and now I'm working as a co-lead and co-event of Women in AI. When I was a student here, I was a software part-time developer over here. And even the University of Wolverhampton, I was an international student life digital ambassador, which working on the different platforms and different society, encouraging students, the professionals at the same time. So let's start. First of all, let me explain you. I will be explaining what mainframe is, why it is important, and what's the student experience regarding the mainframe. So let me ask you the questions. Okay, anybody? What do you think? What is meant by mainframe actually? Anyone? No, you can give a random answers like the one who joined now. So what do you think? What is meant by mainframe? Anything? Any pop-out messages?
Supercomputers.
Supercomputers.
It's with loads of data.
Yeah, lots of data. Yeah. Is that from here? Yeah, actually, it's the supercomputers in the powerful enterprise. Actually, I was, impressed with the mainframe because I was inclined to the business and innovative things. And at the same time, somehow the mainframe is related with the enterprise system and computing. That's why, somehow I was very influenced with the mainframe. So if you talk about the mainframe, it's like the powerful enterprise servers for the big workloads. So before, if you could find the mainframe, so the size of the mainframe was like a house, like a cabinet. But now it's like to the large refrigerator, somehow. Recently, mainframe, it's launched the IBM, 2025 Telum 3 integrated with the AI computing to somehow cope with the, the growth and the demands. And for sure, I have used the reference because it will be easy for you to also understand what the reference. So when you will submit the dissertation, you will understand what is in-text citation and then the, the Harvard reference style. So somehow I have given the reference at the same time, So actually, if you talk about the mainframe, it runs 24/7 with a very high reliability. So as she said, like the workloads, trillions of transaction carries at the same time. But the thing is like the transaction doesn't happen first in, first out basis. So it's like all the things, everything comes together in a batch and the problems get solved, So it's not like, it's like a very, and the downtime, it's nothing like that. 99.99% is the uptime procedure of the mainframe system. So who use the mainframe? It's like it's used by banks, governments, airlines, universities. So you might be confused. Universities, I will be talking about the later, right? So I already told you the process the million billions of transactions fast. Now let's go to another slide. So why it matters? Reliability. The first thing is the mainframe. The system don't go down. Like can you imagine like trillions of transactions and the lots of people, millions of people use a credit card, debit card, and sometimes we might thinking like most of the time it is very safe and the scalability is also up to date. So the reliability system it don't go. It's a 99.99% is there. So I used to think even I was using the credit card and the debit card, why the system didn't go down or something like that. But after coming to the mainframe, I could understand, the enterprise behind the system. And the security. Let's talk about security. Security, strong encryption for the access control. So if you see in the ATM, I do have ATM by the way. So if you see in the ATM, then there is the encrypted systems and everything is written over here, right? So if you see in the mainframe system, then the hardware itself has the encrypted system on the hardware, and then it makes the software so easy to be reliable and somehow accessible to everybody. Let's talk about the scale. Many users and apps at once. It means like, for example, the University of Pennsylvania and the Columbia. They use the mainframe systems for student records, tuition fees and everything. So lots of things goes at the same time and it works. And the speed, regarding the speed, regarding the mainframe enterprise systems, for example, we have used the Amazon, Tesco, so these are the things, they use the mainframe. And if you see the, somehow if you go to the app and do all the stuff, then how you can see how reliable and fast it is. It's the practical stuff. So let's talk about the student, everyday student touch point. Like I said, ATM cards, out of 50 top bank, it uses the 45 out of 50, 45 uses the mainframe. And out of 5 top airplanes and everything, they use 4 out of 5, 4 uses the mainframe. So mainframe is a really backbone of the enterprise systems. And if you somehow flights, rail bookings like British Airways, right? These are the airways that uses the the mainframe. And I already talked about the students' record and rates. The Columbia University, they use the mainframes. So most of the people, they think that the mainframe is old. No, it's not the old. It's the evolving, I would say. I already talked about the tuition billing and the payroll. So we have a different system of the payroll, and mainframe is one of the reliable, fast, and the backbone of enterprise systems. And even the UK government, UK digital infrastructure, they use the mainframes regarding the ID visa systems. Yeah, how the UK VI stuff going on. So this is what it works the practical life. So university case, because we might be, somehow very amazed to know how the university uses, so I was doing lots of research on these things. And I found like many university uses the mainframe also, like Columbia University, one of the top university in the world, right? So it's like admission, registration, transcripts, each and everything that kind of administrative as well as the payroll billing systems. They use the mainframe stuff, right? The financial aid billing, housing, and even the long run student information, their log stuff. Let's talk about the banking snapshot. So I already told you out of 50, 45 top banks use the mainframes. And some of them are like Barclays, others, anyone, HSBC. Yeah, so it's Morgan's, yeah, they use the mainframes. And 90% of the credit card transaction process, it's through the mainframes only. So this is amazing. But the thing is like, we don't know mainframe because they haven't highlighted extremely much, but now the community has been very profound and they have been explaining mainframe like before, more than like before. And end of the batch jobs, the statement interest. So we will discuss this later. And real-time fraud and check, we will also discuss this later. So yeah, I talked about not only the airways and other stuff, the shopping stuff, etc. They use about the mainframe, but we have the government and the transportation systems like IEEE transportation systems. So tax ID benefits and secure platform, the government uses that. Airlines reservations, I already talked about that. Long data retention and audit needs. So everything works on the mainframe. And one of the, now the mainframe has been highlighted around the world and it's evolving. So let's talk about the key concept about the virtualization. So it's like a mainframe, it's one machine and it has a very virtual, many virtual machines. For example, let me give you an example. So here is a building and there is a personal apartment, individual apartment. So similarly, mainframe is a building and the virtual machine is like a personal, the apartment which has its own space and own environment. So mainframe somehow, they somehow established this concept in 1960s. Now all the people and all other the technologies has adopted this and they somehow created the concept of the cloud computing. So this is how the first appearance is the mainframe. And another thing is like the mainframe runs multiple OS and apps safely isolated. For example, if you see mainframes runs in the Linux as well as at the same time it runs, on the JDOS systems also. So multiple times at the same time it uses the mainframes. So efficient uses CPU, memory, and I/O. So it doesn't mean that it has used one thing and it will distract other things. So it doesn't matter something like that. So mainframe with the hardware somehow can have many virtual machines at the same time. So this is how sometime like recently I was doing my project in the open mainframe where I was building the Linux LMS system. So I was integrating the LMS in the Moodle into the Linux systems, and from there I used to understand. I was running the Linux in the Linux system, and at the same time I was doing my other the Jet Explorer badge, some kind of other work. So at the same time I was running JetOS and the Linux at the same time. So this was a practical example and experience I had. So now let's talk about the key concept of the batch processing. So normally we think that first in, first out, FIFO. So if one transaction is done and then the second is other. But the beautiful part of the mainframe is it collects the lots of batches at the same time, sort out and do multiple tasks at the same time. So this is the beauty of the mainframe. And the thing is like the data, whatever it is, the data doesn't fades away and it is protected and more secureable. So no user interaction during the run, and the process millions of record in one go. It means like it's a beautiful thing. And example is like the GPU recalculation, payroll, invoicings. This is how the batch processing works. And the security, I already talked about that. I already talked about the security before also. In the hardware, it is already the encrypted system in the hardware, and somehow help the software to be in such a way so that it can secure the information in a very vital way. Monitoring alert for the unusual activities, protect sensitive data for the decades. Since from the beginning till now, there's no record that there is the data leak and there is a problems of the mainframe stuff over here. Now because it is the most trusted enterprise system now. Yeah, let's talk about my journey also at the same time. It's not about it like a 5-minute stuff, I already told you that I started my mainframe journey 2024 November. And it was the first time I was in GS UK conference. Then we won the CTF competitions. It was my first experiences with the mainframe systems. Yeah, it's a look. Then it opened the many door for me. And I somehow landed in Cambridge because of that also. And I also like the mainframe Barbie so much. Yeah. Okay, so talking about the summary before that, being a student, it's very important to learn the different technology at the same time. We are not supposed to somehow get stuck with the only computer science stuff. When I was a student here, I'm sorry to say, speaking honestly, being a home student is very easy comparing, but the international student, it's a very tough thing. And I started my leadership stuff here in Wolverhampton, where I organized, I led the team. We organized Nepali culture program. It won the best event society. We were featured in the BBC, and somehow it opened the door. I was in mainframe. I was in the mainframe, and somehow the way I have been into the library, I still remember in the library. I used to stay whole night. My IBM Jet Explorer all-star badge every time alone. It was a fun, and still many of you have maybe 6-7 months you might have seen me staying in the the Alan Turing building, solving each and every problem and going through the coding things. What it really inspired me, there was a statement, creating concept and making a reality. So it really inspired me, and trust me, the way I have come to the community and try to solve the problem, it really opened the door for me in a very large way. So for example, I was fully funded by the BTLS community to study in the University of Cambridge. It's like millions, not millions, but thousands of pounds, but I got free stuff. And then not only that, the project which I had done, it was selected in IEEE Women in Technology and Engineering, which is one of the prestigious things. I got placement in the open mainframe stuff and so many stuff, and now I don't want to announce, but yes, I'm getting regional award from the BCS Hertfordshire, British Computer Society, and I will be also one of the speaker over there. So it's not about, I'm not here to talk about many things, what I did, this and that. It's like coming to the mainframe society is also one of the, way where you can open the door, where you can meet with the people, talk with the people, somehow crack the, all kind of stuff. I did have a good education, gap. But despite of having, I worked hard. I still remember one of my breaking time was, I was doing my IoT things. I was building the smart home system and the Wi-Fi server. It was in my coursework. I stayed in library for continuous 35 hours without a sleep because I had to submit my, coursework. So it means I say, like she say, I would say, my advice will be never stop working hard, believe in yourself, and just go and grab the opportunity because you never know, somehow if you go to the one place, that one place will open the door for many, right? Finding in IBM, IUG also, it was a very opportunistic things for me because the base was mainframe actually. And now I'm with the mainframe. I know Kate, everybody, so, right? Oh, sorry. So let's copy the summary. So mainframes are the power everyday services we use: strength, reliability, security, scale, speed. They are modern and evolving, and a great niche for the students, right? And whatever references I have used in my slide, if you want to know where the source, then you can simply go and scan, if you are interested. So if you want to get connected with me, then here is my email ID. And thank you so much. Thank you.
Break for 10 minutes. We'll just wait for the queue. That is our third speaker to come in. Guys can have snacks, drinks, and talk among yourselves.
Went to the main building, that's why actually I went to the, he said he was like stuck by the building.
The third person presents, does he not?
The third person is in the unique, so I've lost some message.
It's going to be sure.
So we're grabbing together. Are you going to connect your laptop?
Yeah. Do you want me to bring it now? Or because I'm the fourth person presenting.
Not sure how Zakir was presenting. We could keep it ready here.
First 5 days.
Sure. Sure, what does that mean?
Here's your asking there.
Oh, we got.
I linked to some things beside the recommendation by the brand. That's what we find out from what we but the problem is should have been accepted. Yeah, 6.
So much thanks you. Yeah, it does. Yeah, this is yours.
Yeah.
Go back.
Get converted. Oh, he doesn't.
You don't have to extend.
Well, you just think that. You're just like, okay, you think. No, actually.
This means I have to go. Yeah. This one's very good. And then the maps, jokes, couples and where you're gonna do that. You're gonna
This is showing. That's just duplicating. I don't know if it's
Right, so we'll move on to the next speaker.
Chapter insurance slide. It was
Functions.
You got him?
Yeah. Yeah, seats. They just kind of dropped out.
Did my directions helpful?
I'll just.
Yeah, with this platform.
There were so many new faces.
Hello. She's gonna start now. Cheers. Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Itili Obake, and it's nice coming here because I see the Mainframe Student Society as my roots, and that helped me to be where I am today. And I know that I'm still going to the next level. So this afternoon, looking at what my colleagues have said earlier, Mona talked about the community, and Katie talked about networking, and that's what this community is all about. So in today's rapidly evolving world, I'm sure that you are all aware that big sectors like aviation, banks, even the governments, they still run on technology that needs your expertise. Do we believe that? Do we?
Yes.
Thank you. And that is why I'll be talking about how you can boost your career with Mainframe Open Education before and even after graduation. Just a quick intro about me. Okay. Yes, a quick intro about me. I studied MSc, I graduated from University of Wolverhampton, MSc Data Science. I'm one of the past alumni of IBMZ. And that I said that the Mainframe Student Society is actually my roots. And basically have been I've obtained level 1, 2, and 3 of IBMZ and Linux One Community Influencer. Currently, I work with the University of Wolverhampton as student ambassador, and I'm being enrolled at the Ella Madison Memorial Apprenticeship. So, and I'll be speaking at the forthcoming GS UK conference. I am passionate about Mainframe. I'm passionate about technology and how to support the next generation of Mainframers. Thank you. So my presentation will be on this. Okay, I think I need to do like this. My presentation will be on this agenda. Together, we have an introduction to Mainframe Open Education, look at the students user group arm of the MOE. So when I say MOE, just that I'm talking about Mainframe Open Education. I'm going to look at how you can be a contributor as well as ambassador of MOE. I'm going to introduce the MOE hackathon to you, and I'm going to conclude. So sometimes as students, we are faced with how we can access the right resources that can help to support our passion that will take us to the next level, that will take us to the next stage of our career. So when we're talking about the Mainframe Open Education, the Mainframe Open Education is one of the 13 initiatives of Open Mainframe projects The Open Mainframe project is being sponsored by the Linux Foundation. And what this community is all about is that it was launched in 2015 as a vocal point for development and well as the use of Linux One and open source in mainframe computing environments. And looking at what the community is doing currently, the community exists to support everybody. It's foster community-driven association. It supports collaborative approach to education such that mainframers, you and I, we can create, we can collaborate, we can even contribute and share educational resources that can support our career. And sometimes getting resources, when you are able to even pass that hurdle of getting resources, you also need to get mentors. Katie talked about how our mentor actually helped her in her journey, right? Yeah. Katie, you want to share that gist again? Maybe later. Did your mentor actually help you in your career? Absolutely. So that is what this community is all about. The mentor as many people that are open to learn from them. And in August, myself and Mina, we completed the mentorship program with Open Mainframe projects. And this is helping us. Right now, I'm having a presentation by next month at GSC conference, COTSI, the Mainframe Open Education. And I'm sure that Mina will be having a presentation also. So this is what this community is all about. They give you the access. You know, in my career, so I've never seen a community that is open, ready to support you, irrespective of where you are, irrespective of what you even know. They are open to support you at every step of the way. So this is the website of Open Mainframe Education, and there are lots of resources that we have there that can help to support your career. And sometimes you look at, okay, who are the people that are even in that space? Who are the people? The interesting part of it is that every one of you is invited. We have students, we have educators, we have professionals. I also referred to Katie's slide earlier. She talked about the professional, the technical and non-technical aspect, right? So also in the Mainframe Open Education, we have technical professionals and we have non-technical professionals. That is what this community is all about. We have people managers, we have the mainframe business specialists, we have the technical retirees. So it's an open space that is wide enough to contain and absorb everybody. That's what this space is all about. And one of the harm of the Mainframe Open Education is a group called Student User Group. How many of you have heard about Student User Group before? None. Okay, so this is one of the goodies I brought for you here. So the Mainframe Open Education Student User Group is basically for everybody. So what we do here is that is a community for students who are interested in mainframe technology. So at every first Wednesday of the month, we do have a webinar. And this webinar is where you meet with students, ambassadors, MOE ambassadors, MOE contributors. And I'm going to give us a few minutes to register now for the student user group, for those that would like to register in order to join the student user group. This is the first stage of becoming a member of Mainframe Open Education Student User Group. It doesn't take so much time, just your name, your email, I think 1 or 2 questions that's for you to register. So you will receive notification on when the next meeting will be, which I know is going to be first Wednesday next month. That'll be like 7th. And we'll be back from GSC conference then. Do you have a question?
Eventually work for me.
It's work for you, right?
Yeah, work.
Okay, as we've been able to register, should I carry on? Should I carry on? Okay, thank you. So I've talked about the student user group. Another opportunity in the Mainframe Open Education is access to Gatebook. The Gatebook is an open source repository that has different resources that can support you. And once you log into this website, you're able to read through, you see how you can even join the Gitebook. And once you join this Git, we'll be able to access resources starting from even what is Mainframe. So it's like a step-by-step stage into Mainframe. And you'll be able to see how you can even contribute. When you contribute, you'll be able to put even your codes, every statement that you do there, and it's going to be approved. Because we have coordinators that are in charge of approval. So it's not that you just open it, you just type in something and it's been approved. No, it has to pass through the quality checks. And what does pass through quality checks is to be adopted. So that is what the Gitebook is on about. It's like, that's why I said that it's a community that is large enough to absorb everybody. And sometimes you look at it that, okay, what's in it for me? Even when I joined the Mainframe Open Education Students User Group, or when I'm able to start contributing to the Gitebook, what will I learn? So you learn badges, you'll be able to ask, you'll be featured in the monthly SUG meeting, SUG Student User Group meeting. Yeah, we've had a couple of alumni from the Mainframe Student Society who has been featured in the Student User Group. How many of us know Nishka? Yes, she's been featured also there. Even Zed, then Leonard also, they've been featured there. So these are resources available for everybody to access. So another thing is that we have the core Mainframe Open Education meeting. That one is for the decision makers. You'll have opportunities to be featured there also, because this way we have members from Broadcom, we have members from IBM and other companies that are part of the Mainframe Open Education. Also, you'll be able to collaborate on projects. We all we are all learning. And part of learning is what you collaborate with people. You get to see other projects that people are doing, and you contribute towards the project. And it supports your career. It's a career progression for you. So this is what this community is about. So I'm seeing that there's a need for more engagement, more involvement of students in the Mainframe Open Education. We have what we call the MOE Hackathon. Have we heard about that before? No. Very strange. So the MOE Hackathon is basically for students. And what we want to do is that we want to create educational content. It could be tutorials, it could be guides, code samples, videos that focus mainly on Mainframe technologies. That is what we want you to do. And once my next slide talks about how you can, the form. This is the form. You can scan it now. It's going to be a link. You can send it to yourself. So on the link, it shows you give us your name, your email. So you can also register as a team and create your own, maybe it's content. Remember, it could be what? It could be video, it could be guides, it could be codes, it could be tutorials. So you can register you can submit your content as a team or as an individual. So let me go back to it again. Have we been able to get copies? You can snap it, or you get the form. Once you scan it, you can send it to yourself either via email or WhatsApp so that you have that form to yourself. Let me know when I should proceed. I've not gotten it. Should I go ahead? Yes. Okay. So what is the significance of today? What's today's date?
7.
So what do we do in the world of Mainframe? What do we do today? I think I deserve one chocolate each from everybody. Today is called what? Casey, you want to help them? You can't remember. I'm going to find you for that. Today, how many of us are aware that tech exchange is ongoing now? It's a conference for mainframers.
Yeah.
And today is 7th of October, and it's been referred to as World of Your Mainframe Day.
Oh.
Yes, of your Mainframe Day. So today is of your Mainframe Day, 7th of October. And I took this picture during the GSC conference. So next time when you have opportunity of going to a conference or Mainframe conference, ensure that you do what you hug. It was a Mainframe, so that you can forget that we celebrate Mainframe. Thank you. So going to my presentation, there's something I wanted to show us earlier, which has to do with this one. Yes, so I'm bringing my presentation to an end. And in today's world of Mainframe, the Mainframe open education is not just a learning platform. How many of us agree with that? It's not just a learning platform. It's actually a career accelerator for everybody. Because there are resources, it's a community that help your progression, that help your passion, that supports you, and make resources available to your next stage of that your career ambition. And for me, I found myself in Mainframe due to my curiosity. I was just called on by Albert. For those of us that know Albert, he just told me that okay, there is student leadership meeting training if I'm interested. And so just an email. And I went. So from there, after being involved in the presentation, he said, okay, there is Mainframe Student Society if I would love to join. I said, come have a look. And I went to have a look. I said, okay, Mainframe, I've never heard of Mainframe before. That was in about 2023, yeah. So, and I joined the society. So from there was an option, there was so advertised that they needed IBMC ambassador. I never knew what Mainframe is, but they now said that, okay, opportunity to be an IBMC ambassador. I'm a kind of person that I'm very curious. I love learning. I like to explore. And since I've not known before, I like to go and have a look and see what it's all about. And I applied. I was taken, and that's how my journey of Mainframe has been. So in this community, you have to be curious, ready to learn, ask questions, network, communicate. The interesting thing about this community is that if you ask them questions, they are available what are we going to say? Just a click away from you, just a message. They are available to support you. There are lots of people that have been communicating with, I've never met them before. So through this Mainframe Student Society, I had an opportunity of speaking engagements in an event organized by IBM at Manchester. So this is what this community is all about. It opens opportunity for you, and I want you to embrace it. So in conclusion, according to Abigail Adams, she was one of the first lady of the United States of America. She stated that learning is not attained by chance. It must be sought for with ardor and attended to with diligence. So the Mainframe Open Education is a platform where knowledge is created. Knowledge is created, it is absorbed, it is adapted, it is adopted, it is shared, it is transferred, and even applied to solve real-world problems, real-world challenges. So whether you're a student, you're a graduate, the Mainframe Open Education actually empowers you. It helps to contribute, it helps you to lead in the Mainframe ecosystem. And earlier I said that in year 2015, the Open Mainframe projects funded and launched the Mainframe Open Education initiatives. And so this year is clocked 10 years. So as a result of this, we are going to record a video, and I want everyone of us, what we are going to say is, happy 10th birthday, Open Mainframe projects. So that is the completed part of my vision.
Yes.
Okay.
What if I mess up?
How do you mess up saying happy 10th birthday?
We need to shower then.
Yeah,
Swear I shouted.
yeah, we need to. Are we ready? That one, everybody to. Should I raise it up?
Do you have to?
Yeah.
know?
You did from science or something?
Yeah, we look in the picture. Everybody wants to see it.
Are we ready? It's not covering everybody. Yeah. Let's put here, you're not showing.
If it's a video, you can start at one end and then move like.
Okay.
Everybody.
So we say, what are we going to say?
Happy birthday.
Okay.
Maybe say happy 10th birthday.
So the people online can also turn on their video if they want to join us.
I don't think they will. They can hear us, but they not.
So
Yes. Countdown. One, go.
Happy
birthday, Uncle Mainframe.
Yes.
Going to finish, I think this is the end of my presentation. So we have an Instagram page for the Mainframe Open Education, and for those that would like to connect with me on LinkedIn. Then we also have the other QR code is for the Mainframe Open Education website. Thank you everybody for your time.
So, another 10 minutes with us.
We have another 10 minutes of break, so feel free to socialize if you have any questions.
Someone online asked a question.
Oh, yeah. There's a question for you for one of the online viewers. She's gonna
Okay.
read the question out.
Her question is, do we have to register and be approved to assess the Open Mainframe project?
Before you can be able to, before your project can be assessed, you need to be a member. Yes, you need to be a member, because that is how we're able to assess what you've done. And like I said, that we have leaders who actually, we have quality checks who are in charge of different projects. So they need to see that it's aligned, because we have mission, we have vision. There are rules and regulations that safeguards what we do and what you even submit on the page. So you have to be a member. Yeah.
Another question is, how do we become a member?
Yeah, to be a member, I'm going to, do I need to put, okay, let me start projecting, right? Let me go back to it. Yes, this is the point to be a member.
So you could send this on like in the.
Everybody's gonna get the slides.
Yes, I can give you my slide. It's fine.
Was there anything else?
YouTube, I think, I feel like we go back in there.
Yes, on the group chat.
I also choose to just go through it, this consistent, so it's bring them. Still happy. Sure.
Any question?
Yeah, but when that's what.
This is how to socialize as well.
First one, it's started.
Do you have any other question?
No, she said thank you. I registered.
Oh, fab.
One of
Okay.
the online people.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you, everyone.
People also socialize.
Yeah.
I think we have some.
I'm from it. I think it was a school in Pontus. I was I started with the Bible. They want you to learn to like that because it was actually doing information about that's part of the gospel. Everyone, virus, all that. Wow, so like she's got. I still
That's why I told you. It's very
I've been drinking.
Thank you very much for being there. Three characters.
Oh, like she's leaving. She's really compared.
Sorry, that's not really fun.
It is. That's where it's not. It's not. Yeah, I think so. You think so?
We have more snacks as well. There's more, there's still drinks, just more. Then we price some time to show mine.
Wait, is white one?
We're not telling you the technical condition.
White mentioned.
You check this You got
Yeah, they got me t-shirts, guys. Yeah.
What time is it? What time is it? And is it 10 minutes left? So, the cheese one.
I mean, like, I can do
Like, this cheese got
You guys are like,
tissue wise.
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, we're gonna start now. But I'm 10 minutes break, 10 minutes ago, he's gonna start now. Set the timer. Yes.
So I'm good to go?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So hi everyone, I'm Zake or Zach. I've been asked to present a session that I find really interesting. I get a lot of questions on it and people reach out to me on LinkedIn or at these events. So I've tried to consolidate everything that I know and know that could help into putting it into this deck. So the topic is careers and opportunities in the mainframe world. So I'll cover sort of the careers, different roles, the industry, the mainframe itself. You guys probably covered that by now. And then sort of the ways and the pathways you can go about navigating through the mainframe world. So I'm Zach. I'm a Z security technical specialist at IBM. So I work with our clients, sort of designing security solutions, making sure that the secure platform that is the mainframe is the most secureable platform, and help them either deploy solutions, work around to create solutions, map it to their requirements, and fix any issue they have basically. So actually, I'll take before I present that slide. I want to get some guesses from you. I want this to be an interactive session. So I'm gonna ask you guys questions, you guys ask me questions. And I don't know if this was covered already, because I missed the morning sessions, but in a single second, does anyone know how many transactions a mainframe can process?
At the same time.
In a second, 1 second.
250,000.
250,000? Higher,
500K.
higher than that.
6 billion.
No.
None of those.
6 billion.
Wait in a second.
Less than 6 billion. Less.
Wait.
Less than billion.
64 million.
240 million.
Less.
40,000.
Less.
5 billion.
Close. Less. Close.
4.8.
Less. Less than 3.5.
Oh, less than 3.5.
Yeah, less than 3.5.
2.7.
What was that?
3.3.
Less.
2.8.
Less.
2.5.
2.1.
Higher than 2.1.
2.5.
2.2.
2.5. That's it. There we go. So a mainframe can process 2.5 million transactions a second. And to you guys, that might be like, okay, 2.5 is a cool, 2.5 million is a cool number. But I want to put that into perspective for you guys. So in a single second, 86,000 Google searches are made, 122,000 YouTube videos are viewed, and 486 or 500,000 WhatsApp messages are sent. So combine all of that, the mainframe is doing more transactions and processing more transactions in a single second. And on top of that, why is the mainframe sort of crucial in today's world? I got some statistics for you guys over here, but the mainframe sort of is our backbone of our economies. It supports and runs 70% of the world's transactions. So 70% of the world's transactions are run on the mainframe. So to put that into perspective, when you tap your card and you make a payment, so hands up to those of you guys that have made a payment today using their card. Then you guys have used the mainframe. That transaction's run through a mainframe. Hands up for those that have booked something today. No? Okay, I'll leave that as it is. And to touch on that further, the value of US payments that are being processed on the mainframe is 8.5 trillion. So that's crucial, 8.5 trillion. And on top of that, we have the industry's leading availability and downtime. So we have 8 nines of reliability. So that's 9.9.99999. And that equates to only 315 milliseconds of downtime a year. No other platform can ensure that level of availability. If you compare that to your x86s, your Intel boxes, all the other servers, cloud even services, they can't give you that level of availability, that 315 milliseconds per year. And again, sort of touching on the mainframe industry before I get into the roles and the careers, the mainframe is involved in every single part of the industry, more so than others. For example, we have banking, and I'll go through all these reasonings, but banking is probably the most utilized industry that makes best use of the mainframe. So real-time financial transaction processing, whether you're making credit card transactions or debit card transactions, moving money from different accounts, that goes through the mainframe. Security, for example, we have encryption throughout the platform, encryption of data in use, data in flight, data at rest, several layers of security, and also uptime. So that 315 milliseconds that I mentioned, and we have high availability. If you combine these platforms, you can ensure basically no downtime whatsoever because of data replication and so on. Insurance make good use of the mainframe for policy management, claims that are being processed that runs through a mainframe. For example, batch processing, so like computations behind the scenes when accounts are being processed, that runs through the mainframe. Retail and e-commerce, so for example, supply chain, inventory that gets processed and managed through the mainframe. Loyalty systems, for example, payments. As well as that, we have travel and transport, so people that are booking flights. If you guys recently went on holiday, when you book a flight, that can go through the mainframe as well. So ticketing and those reservation systems, we work with airline companies that have mainframes and they run their critical systems, running KICS, the sort of transaction processing application on the mainframe, and then logistics and scheduling. Also governments. So for example, the US, a lot of government departments across the world, specifically the US, for example, where they process like social security payments, that runs through the mainframes. Those legacy sort of processes that undermine the whole economy runs through the mainframe. So a lot of public data services, for example, like registries for land and so on, they hold and process information through the mainframe. So really critical. And this is what it might look like if you haven't seen it today already. So this is the latest and greatest mainframe. So the Z17 and the Linux 1.5. And they are fully engineered to provide every layer of like precision, security, productivity, and resilience. And when I talk about precision, the mainframe has AI baked into its hardware. So for example, if you're processing transactions and you want that sort of insight, we can put AI and do AI inferencing within transactions in real time. So for example, there was use cases around fraud. If you're making payments, how can a bank determine whether it's fraud or not? They use AI within each transaction and you can save trillions.
For security, we're the only platform that provides you quantum safe cryptography baked into every layer of the mainframe. So for example, when you boot up the actual mainframe, we have a validated boot to ensure that nothing's been tampered with, whether you're a system administrator or whether you're a threat actor. And we also leverage those quantum safe algorithms to basically protect the future. When quantum computers emerge, they can break our standard encryption that we use today. So basically, all information could be sort of identified and derived from the keys that we use today. We use quantum safe cryptography to secure against that from the future. So we're looking at the future as well. Productivity, those of you, all of you guys are sort of doing IT related degrees and backgrounds, right?
Not all of them.
Not all of them? Okay. Okay, perfect. That's even better. So the mainframes really like it supplements productivity. So we have something called virtualization within the mainframe. So you can basically, it's like we're running, thousands of different computers within the mainframe itself. And you can do that and basically grant endless productivity to host databases, web applications, servers, all through the mainframe. And then resilience. So I mentioned the availability, the 315 milliseconds of downtime. We also have redundancy features built in. So for example, backup power supplies, backup network storage. If a mainframe goes down, we can do data replication and transfer that to another mainframe, whether that's locally, whether that's across countries, across cities, across buildings, we can do all of that. So really secure, really available, and it's also really sustainable. We've done sustainability projects with the mainframe, and we've reduced organizations that have data centers, massive data centers full of different servers. We've consolidated that by 67%. So we've reduced that, reduced costs, reduced energy consumption by endless figures. And for those of you that do IT or come from an IT background, you might recognize some of these tools, Python, Docker, Java, Kubernetes, OpenShift, Postgres, MongoDB, all of those stuff, all of this above runs on Z and Linux One. So really, really open source, really available, really common. And we have a reference before I get into the sort of roles in the mainframe, just to put this into perspective of how critical the mainframe is. So one of our UK banks, they made this information public. But what they mentioned was 90% of the customer data resides on the mainframe. So all the data that they hold resides, and all the data that they process when it comes to a customer, 90% of it resides within the mainframe. So it gets processed, it gets actioned off with the mainframe. And then 80% of their customers, the journeys that the customers make, for example, when they go into their application, the mobile banking app, make a transfer, set up a direct debit, do this and that, 80% of customer journeys rely on mainframe data. So the data that the mainframe holds, processes, and actions. And then they mentioned that 25,000 transactions per second happens on the mainframe for them. So every second, 25,000 transactions, payments, processing, all of that runs through the mainframe. And if you put that into perspective, that bank is a large bank because they own 10% of that 1 second transaction, that 2.5 million transactions I mentioned a second, they own 10% of that. No, 1%, sorry. And then on to mainframe roles. So I wanted to sort of distinguish it because a lot of people have sort of reached out to me saying, oh, I need to be a developer to enter the mainframe. Oh, I need to know like Rex or COBOL. I need to know specific sort of things to get a career in the mainframe. And I sort of wanted to differentiate that and distinguish that that's not true. You don't need to be a programmer to become or work with mainframe. You don't need to know the specific Rex, for example, or COBOL or PL1, the programming languages that they use today, that some people might see legacy, but they undermine the whole economy. But you don't need to know that, for example. There's different roles, different capabilities, different things you can do if you'd like to get a career into the mainframe. So I wanted to touch on some of the roles. So we have the core technical. So those of you that are technical and like to get a technical sort of career pathway, we have system programmers. They install and maintain the actual core system that is the mainframe, so operating systems and all of that sort of pieces. We have application developers. So this is a technical piece. So they build, support sort of applications in-house that an organization might make. Then we have mainframe architects. So it's sort of similar to what I do, but we design secure, scalable solutions, infrastructure. There might be an issue, for example, how do I achieve this high-level problem statement? Like I want to manage users that have high privilege. So how do I manage that and make sure they don't abuse the system or wreck my system? So you design a sort of solution to map that problem statement. You have database administrators, so people that are responsible for governing the data that resides within a database. And then you have storage administrators, so the backup sort of and recovery process, regular backups. If an organization gets a ransomware attack, how do you recover? So they sort of look after that. We have the security and infrastructure side of things. So again, administrators, they control all the rules when it comes to security, giving you access, performance. So people that look at how quick, how to speed up the performance of a mainframe, and then network engineers, so connectivity and so on. We have modernization and integration roles, so DevOps engineers, again, building and solutions and deploying that. API and middleware people, so connecting different applications that run together and basically making them run smooth. Cloud integration, AI and data engineers, so people that are interested in like data and AI, there's roles on the mainframe. So how do you look to unlock insights within the mainframe? I mentioned fraud as an example. Other organizations are using the mainframe for like geospatial imaging and sort of identifying use cases with that. We have the UCL, University of College London, they have a mainframe as well, and they're using that for genome analysis. So there's endless use cases. There's consulting and business roles and vendor roles. So this is sort of similar to what I do within working within IBM, the actual vendor. So you have technical consultants, so you advise on different scenarios and problem statements. Business consultants, so if you're more leaning to the business side, you can advise them on the actual processes they need to take and align their business needs with the mainframe tech. You have solutions architects, touch on that. Sales, if you're interested in, selling to people, talking to people, you can work and sell the mainframe. You can join different organizations like Broadcom, for example, sell solutions that run on the mainframe. Customer success. So this is for individuals that have the mainframe already running and you want to support them long term. So how can they make better use of this tool or that tool or fix this issue? And then product managers, if you want to own sort of offerings within an organization. And then you have operations and support. So this is basically just like resolving incidents, aligning resources, monitoring daily operations, and make sure everything runs business as usual. So different roles within operations and support. And I already touched a bit about me, but more specifically, again, I'm a mainframe security SME. SME is like subject matter expert. And I look around these different areas. So identity access management, cryptography, compliance, data security, threat and vulnerability management. The importance of the role, there's multiple importance, but I picked 3 that I thought were really key. So securing critical assets, I mentioned all the data and operations that run on the mainframe. So that's pretty secure. That's pretty critical. Sorry. So how do we secure that against people that might want to manipulate transactions, digital transactions? So just ensuring that security as well as business continuity. So making sure that an organization like a bank stays running, they can sort of deflect against threats that come their way, and then mitigate risk. So risk is basically like the biggest thing when it comes to an organization. How can they ensure that they have the lowest surface of risk at all? Because risk is the best sort of remediation towards any threat. So yeah, organization see me as a trusted advisor, manage these relationships, do proofs of concepts, deployment of software, design, testing, validation, support. And some key things that I put here that sort of the future of security is AI. So leveraging AI to write your scripts. You can see people write scripts using AI, but imagine that at a scale where organizations and maybe state-sponsored attacks like countries remove all the guardrails from ChatGPT, for example, and just tell ChatGPT, I want to make this code or I want to hack this. How do I do it? And with using AI, they can basically disregard all the guardrails. So rather than like their AI saying, no, that's unethical, or just spit out all the code. Quantum is another thing. I mentioned that it can break all our cryptography. So when you make a payment or something, it's all encrypted, no one can see it. Quantum computers can break that sort of security. So we need to look at how we secure against that. I mentioned state-sponsored attacks. That's growing. So you're seeing countries funding different cyber groups to actually hack. And then passwordless authentication is a good one as well as part of the future. We're no longer going to rely on using passwords or remembering passwords. We're going to be using passkeys, for example. So like that's a little key that sits on our phone, all digital, and that's what we use to log in. So no one can basically socially engineer and get the password out of us. Or maybe you'd use biometrics, or using biometrics, Face ID. So that's sort of the state of security. Another thing I wanted to sort of distinguish was entry-level mainframe roles. I know sometimes it sounds like a myth that mainframe roles aren't entry. I just took a couple of screenshots that I found from a little search for 30 minutes. And I wanted to distinguish that you are able to find mainframe roles. They do exist. Here's a few examples of that. And it's just spending the time to sort of find it. Sometimes they're not, written in the most straightforward way. For example, to find a mainframe role, sometimes they don't call it mainframe, they'll call it like a DB2 database administrator. Now, DB2 is the database that runs the mainframe, so you'd be able to sort of identify that. Sometimes they just write software engineer, and then you can see within the comments that, oh, I'll be working on the mainframe, for example. Or even, for example, IBM, they called it Z stack rather than mainframe or Z. So that's what we call our organization internally, Z stack. So you wouldn't be able to realize that that's actually a mainframe role, or you might because of the Z. But I just wanted to sort of show that people sort of describe it in different ways, and they do exist. They're there. It's just the search, and you can reach out to people within different organizations, like people that in IBM or Broadcom, and we can point you to the right direction. And then the next piece I want to touch on is the skills. So there is skills required when it comes to the mainframe. And here's a few examples of them. Like the fundamental skills is understanding ZOS or TSO, ISPF, that sort of green screen, that terminal. That's just generic skills. If you can understand that, that helps. Also sort of familiarity with some of the coding languages. I know Python runs in the mainframe, Java runs in the mainframe. So you can do that. Or if you want to take a look at the lower level, just familiarizing yourself with COBOL or Rex also helps. So you don't need to understand it and know what it means, but just having the sort of awareness of its importance and how it can be leveraged is good enough. And no one's telling you to learn assembler. I don't know assembler. I don't want to learn assembler, but that's the really low level telling a computer how to work sort of thing. It's really difficult to understand, but it pays well. And then also understanding of the operating systems, for example, like we have different operating systems, ZVM, ZOS, ZLinux, which is just Linux, but runs on the specific architecture. So just having an understanding of the fundamental technical pieces, not how to use it, how to run it, just the awareness, that's perfect. And then also the data and systems. So there's different databases systems that run like DB2, IMS. We have the actual storage of data sets with VSAM, and learning the hierarchy and the sort of concepts that data works within the mainframe. And then sort of just the modern integration tools, which a lot of you are probably familiar with, like, for example, Git, GitHub, CI/CD pipelines, and so on. And with those sort of skills that you start to sort of go down that rabbit hole and understand, there's pathways to help you do that. I know we had previous sessions that touched on how to learn about these different topics or working groups or sort of monthly meetups and communities that you can learn. Here's a few more examples. I know there's a Z Explore session happening after, right?
Yeah.
So you guys will be able to get that hands-on learning and sort of start that. There's Coursera, there's the Open Mainframe project. They touch on courses, they touch on initiatives. Any sort of certification badges really helps credibility. It shows you being proactive, and also joining these communities is a really good thing as well. So trying to attend GS UK, for example, is a good one. Share Open Mainframe project, so on. So while I've touched on those being sort of technical skills, one thing that I did want to touch on, just my battery. One thing I do want to touch on is how do you actually stand out? Because a lot of people are going to be doing the same things. They're going to be going through understanding the different subsystems, the data structures, how a mainframe works, operating systems. They might be able to code as well. But the thing that we focus on, especially within the mainframe world, and I've spoken to different vendors and organizations. So IBM, that's just a personal and organizational opinion, but people from different parts of the organization, even the third party people that make the software, they all have the same opinion that it's good to have the technical base foundation, but the thing that really sets you apart is the following, and that's more on the people side, how you conduct yourself. So the first and the most important is being proactive. So for example, don't wait for that permission. Like it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission. So go learn and touch, see, explore, use the different tools that are available, ask people and reach out to people on LinkedIn to guide you, show your curiosity, and sort of join these different initiatives like the Mainframe, the Open Mainframe projects, open source communities, tech clubs, stuff that you're doing right now, for example, joining this society in this event. That really helps to show that you're being proactive with your time. So for example, you not only have the base knowledge, but you've also gone above and beyond to learn these different skills, try it hands-on. So it's a lot quicker for you to learn those things. Another thing is showing and not telling. So for example, if you do develop those skills, actually apply it. Build a little sample project, record a demo, for example. Those stuff will be really valuable because you can tell the employers or whoever you try to speak to or volunteer or get some experience that you know what you're talking about. You have that credibility because you actually have some deliverables that you can show. So that's really good. Even if it's like a GitHub portfolio that you have of software that you've developed, applications, that really helps. Another thing is learning the different tools that are available. So for example, like Python on ZOS might work slightly different to traditional Python that runs in the cloud or in distributed environments. So just understanding that and being able to differentiate that. The API integration is different because the mainframe might communicate with different protocols or it communicates in a different style or way. And then showing and leveraging those badges and credentials from like IBM Skills Build or Coursera helps. And then applying that into sort of mapping the bigger picture that is the mainframe and how different mainframes communicate. For example, hybrid cloud, you can host your cloud environments using the mainframe. So understanding all those pieces in the big picture then helps. And then just making an impression. So reaching out to people, LinkedIn, volunteering, asking for shadowing, experiencing, asking them for their thoughts, all really helps. And then one thing I want to touch on as well is the future of the mainframe. So these are three things that I want to touch on that I call out the future of the mainframe. The first being the integration and innovation. So this is an ongoing thing. All of these are ongoing and current, but the mainframe seamlessly integrates with all the different cloud vendors, for example, AWS, Azure, Red Hat OpenShift to GCP, so Google Cloud. For example, even when it comes to managing different pieces within the mainframe, you can do that across cloud and the mainframe. So you have that integration. And then also the different interfaces, the APIs and tools, they bridge between mainframe, cloud, distributed systems. So that's where it's going. It's being more interactive, more hybrid, more integrated. And then AI being the AI-powered automation is driving that sort of efficiency. So understanding where AI actually applies, that's going to set you apart a lot more as well. Security and reliability plays another part. So for example, one of the things that we can do, and we're still looking towards, is how can we keep data encrypted so that it's secure, but also be able to process that data while it's encrypted. So we don't need to decrypt it, get the information, process it, encrypt it back. So one of the things that you're going to see a lot more in the future of the mainframe is being able to process data while it's encrypted. So even while it's being computed, being processed, if the data was to get leaked, it's still in its encrypted format. No one's not going to know that. So just some future innovations like that and privacy preserving analytics and using AI to secure different workloads is going to be another future theme. And then the last one is end-to-end AI and machine learning. So for example, like you can already run machine learning models on the mainframe and use, apply fraud detection, for example, threat detection to minimize that latency and improve financial implications. All of that just continuing to grow. That's going to grow on a lot more scale. and with the emergence of agentic AI as well. So agentic AI basically self-executing. So if it meets a condition, it will process the actions itself. So you'll see a lot more of that probably as well on the mainframe. So integrating AI agents and so on. And the last, there's a final key takeaway. So this is technology that powers the world. It provides, it's the backbone of our economies, but it's also facing a talent gap because if I speak personally on my team, majority of the people on my team are a lot older than me, on their 60s. And so again, there's stages of different retiring happening. So like different waves of retiring. People are, leaving the mainframe industry and they're hard to replace. So this gives you the perfect time to sort of upskill and sort of enter and replace those that are sort of leaving their career and you being the ones entering. So a lot of opportunity. And that's it. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yep.
So you said earlier when you're moving like money from one account to another account, you use the mainframe as well. So say for example, I moved money today from Revolut, which doesn't use mainframe, to a Lloyds Bank that does use mainframe. How does that work?
So that's a good question. So the way it works is it's going to work the same way on sort of the way Revolut works and the mainframe works. And they communicate the same way, use the same standard protocols, the jobs are the same. It's just technology is different. So the Lloyds would receive that money and they process it with their mainframe, for example. So the benefits that gives them is, for example, reduced latency. They can do it a lot faster. They can do it a lot scalable. They can do it a lot secure. So the same sort of process, just technical and financial benefits of running on a mainframe, for example. Like we had, for example, databases. Some people run databases on normal servers rather than a mainframe. And we've gone to different banks, for example, and told them, why not run your databases on a mainframe? And we're able to consolidate that. So rather than using 60 machines, which is actually the truth, we're able to consolidate that into 2 mainframes. And you get the same benefit, probably additional security, and the same level of performance that you got just from running 2 mainframes rather than 60 different servers. And all the licensing costs and all those financial benefits get eliminated by just using 2 mainframes, for example. So it's just a pros and cons thing rather than a difference in architecture. Sure.
Yeah, there is a question. It's maybe a bit more.
Question online.
Yeah.
Online.
As an undergraduate software engineer student, I'm really interested in building a career on the technical side of IBM Z. I've recently earned my IBM Z Explore Concepts badge, and I'd love to understand what the typical path looks like for someone like me. From being a student to eventually working in a core technical role at IBM, based on your experience, what advice would you give to someone starting out on their journey?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I'll go back to this slide that I used about sort of standing out. So that's perfect for that individual where they were able to build that technical foundation of all their skills. They're doing the courses, they've earned the credentials. Now it's probably about how can I get access to a virtualized mainframe environment? You are able to get access. So how can I get access to a mainframe environment? For example, there's the Linux One Community Cloud. So that's available, hosted by I think it's Marist University in the US in collaboration with IBM. And you just register and they'll give you a free Z Linux virtual machine. So maybe play around with that, build a project, maybe write an application or code or web page that does some sort of transaction processing, maybe link a database on the back end and sort of try now mimic what a real world situation and scenario does with building the application, hosting the sort of database on the mainframe or the transaction processing on the mainframe on that Linux side, and then sort of build a project on that. That's what I'd recommend.
Any more questions? Does anyone have any more questions?
No, okay. So we're just gonna have a 10-minute break again.
Thank you. Thank you.
we do have, after the 10 minutes break, we have a question and answer session. The speakers can sit down here. We have a list.
I don't know why I listened to this.
We do have a list of questions we collected before from a few members, so we'll be asking them that. But if you guys have any questions, you can ask them during the question and A session. And if you're too shy to ask, you can just ask, tell me. Yeah, if WhatsApp group and we'll ask it for you.
10 minutes break and then Q&A session.
The person asked which program, what is the program called? The Linux one?
Oh, that's the Linux one community cloud.
Yeah.
And type that on the chat.
Yeah, that would be nice.
So that's what gives access to the virtual machine, and then they can do whatever they want with it, basically.
So what does that exactly happen? Does it go to 6? If does he use 6 at CICS?
CICS. Oh, kicks.
Okay,
Yeah.
so does it like go to Kicks and then Kicks goes to Mainframe?
It fully just gives you a blank virtual machine that is using the mainframe, so the Linux mainframe, and you can do whatever you want on it. So if you want to install, for example, Kicks, I don't know if it runs on the Linux mainframe, but you could try it, or you can use any other transaction processing software. It's basically like a normal VM, a plain vanilla VM, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Nice. Why are you asking questions on the meet if you're here?
No, I'm not. I'm asking the person what program are they talking about?
Okay, good. Because I was gonna, because you're asking a question and like, that was good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you very much. So just because when we put out the form, we had a last input at the bottom that says any questions you want to ask the speakers in case any stuff. We're just gonna go over those and then take any and then we'll be done.
Okay, perfect.
Also, when I get employment, I'm graduating in July.
You're graduating.
He needs sponsorship. I don't.
Software engineering.
I can refer you to someone.
Oh yeah, I would really appreciate.
Yeah, that's fun.
I know some of the companies have like started applications for next summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you refer me, you know, I already have the concept knowledge. I should complete the advanced ones for this next time. How long did the advanced one? 4 5 hours. Both of them. 4 5 hours.
I'll have that before. I'll have both of them before Christmas.
Both in.
Sorry, I'm just.
Yeah.
I'll have it before Christmas.
Yeah, I think I can do like the 2.
Would I? Is there any room that I can take a call?
Take a what?
Call. Like
Call.
Teams call, yeah. Sorry about that. No, no worries. I'll just find around the place. I'll come back.
Well, he telling me I was like 6 minutes.
You have like 6 minutes. Question. Sorry about that. Send the slides to Zubair. Like, I just wanna.
I haven't yet. I can send it.
That would be nice.
Yeah, sure thing.
Oh, it doesn't work. Huh. Yeah, I know that one works. Oh. Yeah, I've been keeping people updated and stuff, so.
Yeah.
What do you mean if you're able to join in and have any questions for the speakers? And it says, is that send a link? Is that send a mail to the society?
No, it's a form.
Oh, you created a new form.
It's a form that I sent to you guys last night.
You did?
Yeah, you guys didn't fill it out.
No, we didn't even know you sent a form.
Yeah, it's a form. If you have any questions, you fill it out.
Let me
Where
see
is
the
it?
form.
I
Joking.
don't know where it's been.
Where are the other questions though?
Yeah.
These.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah, just you anchor the stuff. You need what? Yeah, you take Judge's form. Yeah, sure.
what?
You're not doing anything on your phone. What you say? What? I'm taking pictures at least. You're not using your phone. So you take Judge's phone.
I think I sent it to someone else.
Okay, I will take your phone for photos.
It's Cameron, yeah.
All right.
No, I will take the pictures. It's all right.
So what will I be doing?
Nothing, just there. And she's gonna be hosting. Where's the phone? Click on it. Let me see what it shows.
Just shows a question that you can put in a question. That's it.
Start now.
That's it. If you want to answer to it, you drop
Yeah,
it
that's
in.
cool. Yeah, sure.
If you just want to ask
There's
them.
old stuff you take 15, 20 minutes. It's just a few questions people put in when they're signing up.
No problem.
I've heard about the IBM early career.
What's the best way to send slides to?
Oh, I think mail probably. I don't know if IG allows you.
Well, let me just send you a mail.
Yeah, mail is. Calendar looks very busy.
Yeah, it's not the. It's quite ugly.
Yeah, there's a lot on it.
Yeah.
You see my calendar, there's so much space inside of a work page.
You can type your email there, then I'll type it.
So you have a Zubai, that's strange. Usually when people meet me, I'm the first Zubai they've ever met in their life. That's I think we need to arrange seats for the speakers.
Upper result in Excel.
Yes, guys, at gmail.com. Yeah, that should be it. Jim, you didn't socialize today. We had like 6 breaks for you to socialize and we didn't move once.
Rajiv, you need to build your career by.
You socialize with only
3 people. Yeah.
only your people.
You got to network with people.
Yeah, you actually network with new.
Oh, by the way,
Is that me?
no, it's just a bear.
Kids with my technical problem, it's like a problem at the same time.
Yeah, she's like 67 years old. I don't know if you being alone, but she's very, very old. Yes, that's why do you go out there with the tall shit?
I mean, maybe for the 5-year-old. It's got a bit of wiggle room.
Driver's license. Is there a driver's license in India?
So I'm trying to get my She wanted to do it now, but I didn't have
Yeah, no. Yeah, well, I'm showing you. Yeah, just one more.
Read online.
three massive full of things for us things that I've got. I'm not sending those things.
Tell us how to do it all.
What's it like? That's it, kind of works out.
Oh, yeah. It's good. We like having next to the house. Oh, no, doesn't the MacBook charger? You need a MacBook charger.
I'll go.
Okay, because a lot of it's now.
Thank you. I'll go on my bed.
That's your.
Oh, wait, it's too big. Well, she laughed.
Yeah, she was great. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna. Let's see in a minute. Can I come use my phone? I think it's being a nerd. We're gonna start now. Are you good to start now?
Yeah, sure.
You're not find the other I can't see shit on his phone. You know, just tag the message so he comes down and whenever I found it.
Today.
He's
So tiny.
yeah, I know you can see, you're not blind. MashaAllah, brother son. Going on network. Yeah, sure. You don't have to carry this. Okay. Hello. So
Hello.
we can start the Q&A now, the questions we collected, so. Those all speakers in front and then.
Was too slow.
Yeah, I did not. You can continue. I don't take notes.
Class this.
Yeah, you look the question and they can all attempt it and anyone who wants to can take it. And you can address two individual questions based on how you judge it.
First question is just how are you today?
All good. Can't complain.
Yeah, that's a nice question, you know.
Ice-breaking question.
Second one is how can I progress my career in IT in the UK in general?
I could take that. I guess focus on like set a roadmap on where you want to end up or the direction you want to go, and sort of start mapping either knowledge based or personal projects or even sort of relationship building activities you can do along that sort of roadmap. So you start off with like building a foundation and then sort of applying that and then speaking to relevant people so you can apply what you've learned and speak to them and sort of just map a whole different ways of including some of the stuff I talked about on the slides and making a sort of roadmap for yourself.
Yeah, building relationships, I think, is probably the most important thing at your very early career stage. Don't underestimate networking. I mean, most of the jobs I've had, I can't speak to really the UK job market, but most of the jobs I've had is because I've known somebody who knows somebody. And so I can't stress enough how important it is just to get out there and to talk to people. And you never know what a relationship would lead to.
Absolutely. I mean, they've talked about having a roadmap, and when we're talking about how it is broad. So you look at what is that area that I want to focus on. And let's say the person wants to focus on mainframe. And mainframe have a lot of resources. There is IBM skills build that you can access. There is IBM skill depot. And for the non-technical skills, you have IBM skills build. You have customer service, engagement, you have communication, you have network. So depending on that area you want to focus on, so I would say that, okay, you look at those resources available. And there's also IBM Z Explore. So look at that area that I want to focus in and build a niche around it. I'm building a niche, like my colleague have said, networking, engagements. Make yourself visible, show and tell. You mentioned show and tell. Yes, this community is all about show and tell. You have to blow your trumpet yourself by letting people know this is what I am doing, this is what I have done, and this is what I want to do. And when you make it known to people, the community is open enough to support your dream. That's what I think.
And actually, it's true, UK job market is very difficult because of financial fluctuation and other stuff. So I suggest doing paid and unpaid internships, getting linked with institutions, and just do it. When I somehow landed as a part-time software developer, it did happen at second. So I did lots of unpaid internships. I got linked with institutions, networking, and just do it. Set a time and just.
I have a related question
Yes.
for Katie. So we know here as a general rule of thumb that the job market is much better in the US. And you moved from the US to here. What has your experience been in relation to that? Like, did you notice a big change, or was it better for you because you were the mainframe?
I think Mainframe is kind of its own isolated incident. I almost thought about talking about this in my presentation, but the job market for mainframes is very secure. And like, I don't want to lull you into a false sense of security, but you hear all of these stories about layoffs and things like that with other tech companies. And Broadcom, for example, for the mainframe support division, I mean, they're growing. They're not laying people off. They continue to grow, and we're continuing to add new people. And they also understand the importance of getting people in and getting people trained because of the mass wave of retirement coming up. So as far as mainframes are concerned here in the UK, I mean, it's a very stable place to be comparatively to the rest of IT. The job market, I haven't had much experience in it. Obviously, I came over with a job already, but my husband did not have a job here, and it took him, he's got a master's degree in engineering and speaks 3 languages. And it took him a year and a half to find a job. So that's just how it is. So yeah, patience, guys, like patience. But he did it. He got it. So I mean, there is hope for you too. Just yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
While we're on the job market place, so the question was, what does market demand nowadays in tech fields? But
I think that covers most of that, yeah.
it just cover everything, most of it.
Check the first. Well, she's gonna read that.
When it comes to joining IBM, is it better to apply in a specific country, or can someone start from their current location and later move between countries with an IBM?
Yeah, that's a good question. Definitely apply wherever you can. If it's more convenient to do it locally, do it locally. Nice thing about IBM is you can move positions, you can move roles, you can move countries as well. They're really supportive about that. For example, I've started in the UK and everything, but I wanted to sort of get some hands-on experience doing some development. So I asked, and I was able to do a rotation for about 8 months with the development team. They're based in India, so I was working remote. So yeah, it's flexible.
It's good. Another question, I think it's for you in general. I've heard about the IBM Early Career Program. Would you share a bit about it?
Okay. Is there anything specific about the early careers program? Because it's pretty broad. Otherwise, I can talk about it holistically.
That's more faster than specified.
Yeah, you just said early career.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Okay. I mean, within IBM internally, we have like an early careers program. That way, it's sort of they build you, I guess, a roadmap of where you're gonna be in sort of a year time. And they align you to a mentor. They build you a mentor, and you sort of learn and develop skills based on the role you're gonna be doing. And they do a lot of shadowing, a lot of role playing to build up skills, and then they put you in client engagements and stuff so you can learn with smaller client engagements. And that way, if it's I'm not sure about externally. I know we just have resources available and different programs to learn from. But there's no formal like early careers thing that they do externally for others. We sort of more reach out to people within IBM and we help out when we can. Like people reached out for shadowing opportunities and sort of running different initiatives, and we can do that. We help the IBM encourages that. I think I don't know if I answered that well.
That's good. Mainframes have been known for stability and reliability, but with new trends like AI, automation, and cloud integration, what does the next 5 to 10 years look like for this field? And how will it change the day-to-day work of mainframe engineers or developers? It's complicated.
I would simplify it to really mainframe is no different. I know we like to treat it special, and it is different, but it really isn't that different from the distributed world. And so all this talk about AI, automation, cloud, that's all integrated within mainframe as well. So wherever distributed's going, mainframe's going as well. It isn't really an island on its own. It connects to everything else. So everything's interconnected. So.
Would you say mainframes would still be there after 5?
Oh yeah, absolutely. No.
I was gonna add as well, within IBM internally, we work on the next 2 generations of the mainframe. So while we just released the Z17, we're working on Z Next +1 and Z Next +2. And so we're working on the future innovations of the mainframe. So they're 100% there, they're 100% there.
So mainframe is constantly being innovated. There's innovation and re-innovation. So mainframe is not dead. And that is why, if you look at there's kind of skill gap, like he said earlier, that most of his colleagues, they are older, and it's because you see them in their 50s, 60s. So now they want us to come on board, to come and take that, ensuring that that skills gap is closed. And that is why they are making themselves available as mentors. They are making resources available for every one of you to access so that you can come in and close that gap. So mainframe is not dead.
So do developers at IBM use AI tools to help with coding, or do they usually handle everything manually by writing code themselves?
To answer, they use AI tools, but internal AI tools. So we have tools that we built in-house to help assist with development.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're following the trends.
Zubair has a question.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, as final year students, I started to consider different opportunities and all. So financially, is it good for me to choose the mainframe over whatever other fields I'm considering? Like, should I financially, is it prudent for me to take a job as a mainframe, whatever, instead of as a backend engineer, for example?
I would say it can definitely be rewarding, especially depending on the sort of route within mainframe you go. I know with other sort of areas, if it's like, if you're doing the normal containerized application, but it's working on mainframe, will probably resemble what the rest of the market is doing. But there's some roles that are very niche. If you get into it, it can be very, very lucrative. So for example, like your assembly programming or your COBOL or your PL1, those are really hard.
Yes.
And they
pay well.
Yeah, so short story is rewarding, it is lucrative.
Thank you very much.
This next question is for Katie. What is your preferred coding language for mainframe?
Ask the non-developer. I don't know. I enjoyed Python, but Rex is a fun one as well, and Rex is easy enough to get started with. So yeah.
Another question is there a place for someone in law or biology?
For what? In law?
For someone who's studying law or biology?
Law, I'd say yeah. You're looking at auditing. You're looking at getting into being an auditor.
Being part of the legal team.
Yeah, legal.
Yeah, that's part of the legal team.
Policy.
Governance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And biology, it's funny that somebody said biology. Actually, one of the people that went through the vitality program, the cohort after me, she had studied biology and she did just fine. And now she's doing development for Broadcom. So yeah.
Did someone ask the question in the answer?
Good.
Oh yeah, WhatsApp question says, how to get a job on the mainframe with Python and SQL DBS. Person knows Python and DBS and is asking how does he or she get a job in mainframe?
I mean, I guess again, I'll refer to one of the things I mentioned around that, like Linux One Community Cloud. You can leverage that, apply your skills that you have in Python and database management with SQL, for example. Like we have MongoDB, Postgres that runs on the mainframe. Those are SQL based. So you can apply that and deploy SQL Server or MongoDB on the mainframe on the Linux One Free Community Cloud. And sort of leverage scripts, Python scripts, write some applications, go to GitHub, find some, sort of play around and get a feel for how that works. Because a lot of the solutions that we at IBM are developing, they tend to be more containerized nowadays as well. Like hybrid cloud is the big theme. So, you know, Python is what we're writing some of our applications in, Java, JavaScript, and then using a microservice that might be Postgres or MongoDB as one of the containers. So yeah, just using that and basically building maybe a sample project on the Linux One mainframe, that would be a good start. Because you'd be replicating the same thing in your job.
That's good. How is the work like in this field? Is it interesting?
Never a dull moment, right, guys?
Yeah. You're always really having a lot to do, because if you look at for the mainframe open education, we've got a curriculum that's we're currently developing for certain universities. So there's no dull moment. We're always engaged. You understand? Doing one for the other. For instance, I developed a communication plan for the mainframe open project, which has to do with okay, my project was on communication and marketing for mainframe open education. So it has to do with communication plan for the community, how we're going to do it, how we engage members of the community, letting them know about the education aspects of mainframe, because you need education for you to come on board, which has to do with the basis you need, and also access to those resources. Like I mean, made mention earlier. Yes, IBM's Explore, you have IBM's Cube Depot, you have IBM's Cube, and all these are available for you to access. So we work on ensuring that you are able to access this in order to support your career and passion. So no dull moments.
Yeah, and I would say like it's exciting and challenging at the same time, because now I'm working as a technical solution architect, and navigating problem, it's very difficult, but at the same time integrating different platforms and working in the IBM with the the DB, Mongo, as you said, their skills. So it's good actually, because we heard normally that life is challenges, but especially challenges with the code makes you more mature,
Also add that I work directly with clients and each of them throw a different thing every single day at me. So if they have different things, different problems, different things we didn't know could happen, they sort of share that and have that problem. So yeah, never a dull moment.
Still a question. It's got two parts to it. So first, what's the pay like in the industry in general? And the second part is, what's the employee treatment like? How are employees treated generally, as opposed to other industries?
It's easier.
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. It really depends on who you work for. It's not an industry thing, so to speak. It's more about who do you work for. I can speak to Broadcom's perspective. I get paid very well. And I mean, well enough that I'm out of debt by the time I hit 30, which was awesome.
Treated well as well. Are you treated well as an employee?
They allowed me to move internationally, and I'm treated very well. The trade-off is that they do expect a lot out of you. They do. It's not something where you can slack off. You're never bored, let's put it that way. So there is the trade-off that, like I'm working weekends sometimes, I'm doing emergency shifts, I'm working on call. So, but the trade-off to that is that, I was able to have my wedding in Portugal.
Oh yeah.
I'm able to go visit my family back home in the US once or twice a year. So, I mean, it's rewarding. It just takes a different mental shift that, it's not always about you. It's about the company as well. Does anybody else want to speak to this? Yeah.
I'll attest to everything they said. Like, they do expect a lot from you. It is very rewarding. I get paid well. I'm happy with that as well. To throw some numbers, not my personal, but entry level roles, they typically pay from, say, around the 40K mark, and that can go upwards really, really quick. And depending on how long you are, the sort of roles that you take, if you go into sort of more like an SME role, a global SME role, product management, that could skyrocket as well. Again, they do expect a lot from you. But with that, they give you flexibility and sort of your own freedom and autonomy. So that's nice. It's like I work late as well. I've hardly done a weekend, so I'm happy about that. But like but 9 p.m. finish sometimes that happens. That's cool.
Next question is, well, the question was, why did you start working in Mainframe? What caught your eye? But I think you guys have already talked about it during the session. What's your advice for beginners, like the person who asked it? Something you wish you knew earlier?
One thing I'd say is a lot of people like touch on how niche the mainframe is, and it's difficult to learn this or difficult to learn that. I was actually surprised how much resources are available online.
Yeah.
You can find a lot of resources, and although there's a lot of documentation on a lot of pages, a lot of mentors have told me the acronym KISS. I don't know if you guys know, like keep
Keep it
yeah, keep
simple,
it simple,
yeah.
stupid,
Yeah.
or RTFM, and I'm not gonna say that one. But it's read the manual. And we're doing that and sort of just there's a lot of resources. That's something I wish I knew.
It's all about knowing what you want to do and accessing that resource, the resources that are available. So all you need to do is your curiosity, your commitment, and discipline. Okay, this is what I want to learn, and I'm going to learn it. The resources are there for you. You just need to create that time, be curious about it, and have a relate. And make yourself, once you achieve it, the community is so good that even if it's just a course you're able to do, and you let people know that I've been able to achieve this course, the support you will receive is huge. And this encourages you to do more, right? So you want to do more. Okay, this is supporting community. Let me do more. And that's how it starts from.
Next question is, will I land a job if I finish IBM's Explore?
I wish I could say yes.
I wish.
Maybe.
It's anonymous. I think the person should be able to answer that. What do you think?
Let us know how it works out.
Yeah.
I think that's all for the questions. I'll just check if there's any. Someone asked online, so is it the kind of job where your work day doesn't really end at 5 or 6 p.m. and you often stay longer?
Not all the time. Yeah, I'd say it's what, probably 20%, not even 20% of the time.
I would say
Something like
sometimes.
that, but yeah, sometimes, yeah.
It depends on the circumstances. Like quarter end, for example, everyone's scrambling around, project deadlines. Other than that, it's pretty stable.
Yeah.
Yes. There's one last question and then we're done. What do I do if I want to get in the networking technical way part of the mainframes?
Waves, I mean, getting to waves, getting to GSD UK.
The
I
student
think they
community.
meant like the actual physical
The
network
fa-
and like,
Yeah, as in the
yeah.
technical part of
Oh.
networking.
You say the like Coursera, Bradley, IBM Skills Build as
Yeah.
mentioned.
The interskill also.
Yeah, they have like level 1, level 2, level 3, like ZOS network and specialist courses, for example. So those are good to learn. Also, Linux on the mainframes similar to Linux on distributed. So knowing those, that helps. And just getting access to different systems, like trying around stuff. For example, like configuring firewalls, IP rules, those sort of stuff. That's a good stuff.
Yeah, TCP/IP exists on the mainframe, so.
Yeah.
It's kind of universal.
Right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming today. It was a first event and it went
Yeah.
quite well.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much for turning out.
Yeah, good photo, yeah, sure.
Yeah, let's take a group photo.
Gonna take a cheap off, nobody likes it. Your phone. Don't get the picture, you're actually-
It's him take it. He wasn't even.
I want to know, I was online, no, that's how we did it, because nobody wants to see it. I only come through.
He just put a timer there, but he.
No, I don't want to do the picture.
You want to type in the answer to this?
Oh, the usual is for
No, no, yeah. I get it. And then between the speaker and the president.
Yeah.
They're organizing. Yeah.
Only a couple of inches between us.
You don't get to ask questions about poor people.
Sure I do.
Should probably come somewhere in, yeah.
Where shall I go? There?
Yeah, yeah, go. He's on that stage.
Bye.
Smile, a cheese. I'm gonna do like,
It's
selfie. I'm gonna do a selfie as well for myself, so.
Mainframe.
We should probably
Do a landscape.
Yeah, landscape.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so. Cheese.
Please cover everybody.
Yeah. Did you cut that?
Are you sure? Did you put Rajiv?
Oh, I cut this.
So do you think it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's, we can come around.
It's all right. Everyone in. Right, good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All these fight against it.
Can I go over?
Where you have your?
If you have. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we're gonna bring.
I don't feel so. It's pretty. I'm being honest.
I do go on regularly, but
You can be one of my six.
Six.
Something crazy. like that.
Yeah. Yeah, 20 followers and 6 posts.
Oh, there you go.
You're following 36. Does request to follow you.
Thank you. I will request.
See, then,
I answered questions online.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
doing.
yeah, that's good.
What's that?
leaving now.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Nice to
Again.
meet you again.
Will you be at GSC?
Yeah.
I
Okay, but
I would like to be GS as well.
yeah, I heard that you guys are waiting for a response October 10th or something.
No, yeah, that's what Twinkie did recently.
Yeah, hopefully you can sort that out.
Yeah, we're like student ambassadors, so we're likely gonna get in.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So for IBM's ambassador.
Yeah.
like, they always give them.
I mean, it's not gonna do us bad.
Yeah, hope.
Keep us in well.
The GSC conference, like, are we gonna make it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're actually done. And this is very nice. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate that.
We're gonna keep talking.
Yeah.
They're gonna link me about the.
Yeah. All right.
Do you wanna end the meet? People are hearing my conversation.
Well, thank you for coming.
We're gonna do it again.
Sounds good.
Every year.
Walking back.
Or exit university or can.
I'll be on my way. It's on Google Maps.
I just want to look at the large area. Just.
There's nothing. It's because it's in like a. Oh, we're gonna
Quite
reach
shy, that's why.
his-
You don't get any sweet.
Like, yeah, and never ending for.
Yeah, as many as.
We kids.
Yeah.
You want any?
Nice to meet you.
Oh, 60.